Dave Smith left atheism for a surprising reason, and we've got to talk about this. Dave Smith is a political commentator, a comedian as well. He's very famous right now, big in the Israel-Palestine debate. And here he is talking to Tucker Carlson about why he left atheism. Check this out.
I had been like a militant atheist when I was younger. I had started to open up my mind a little bit to being like, I was seeing some of the holes in the atheist arguments, but I still was not like a believer in God. And so we were at Lenox Hill Hospital, and this was the first one. This is how it started. Was the anesthesiologist came in to give my wife an epidural, and at Lenox Hill, or at least this guy, they asked me to leave the room. They said they ask the fathers to leave the room when they do it, because they're putting a spinal thing in, and they have to be very, very precise.
It's horrifying
yeah,
to see it,
right.
Yeah.
So like, and they don't want, I guess they don't want you there to react because then she might
Exactly
react.
right.
And so they don't want to. So I go out, and
she can't see.
I will say, as a father of two, I've been in the room when the needle gets put in. I'm a real man. I stayed in the room.
But so I go out, and I'm in the hallway in the maternity ward at Lenox Hill Hospital, and it just hit me. It was like for the first time, I guess I'd not really thought about this. I was just so excited to get my family started. But for the first time, it hit me that like something could go wrong and that I could leave here alone. Like something could go wrong, that I could lose the baby, I could lose my wife, and it's totally out of my control. And like as this started hitting me, I started like really getting emotional. And it's like I'm out there and I'm crying in the hallway of this maternity ward. And immediately I just started talking to God. And I just
man, real quick, I gotta pause there. If you have children, man, that feeling right there where you have these moments where you go, there's no power in my hands. My whole world is just out of my hands, and I just have to, what do I do with it? Oh, man, what a feeling.
This maternity ward. And immediately I just started talking to God. And I just started not just talking to God, but like negotiating with God. And I was just like, like, dear Lord, if you make sure that they're okay, I'm going to do, like, I'm going to be the best husband and the best father, and I will do this, and like all the different things in your life.
Have you ever prayed before?
No, never once in my life. And it all, like all the things that you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing that well. Like I was like, okay, I'll clean this up. I'll call my mom more often. I'll do this thing. And so anyway, so I just started like praying to God, and not just praying, but like negotiating. So anyway, everything was fine with that. But my wife, this was the first of many times she had there were a bunch of complications in the pregnancy. Everyone came out okay, thank God. But so I ended up talking to God a lot that day. And then just like, as the days went on.
It's so interesting. It's organic.
Well, that's
a lifetime of not believing, and then you just start.
And so
praying.
this is almost like what intellectually, converted me later. Was I was like, hey, what the hell was that? I mean, I can't look back and just ignore that.
I love that so much. He's like, wait, I have to address the fact that I did that. That was weird. It is weird to do that. If you've never prayed before, you just pray right there. That's a weird thing. And if you have those feelings, you need to address those too. I've said this before. I don't know how you can hold your newborn baby in that delivery room and not believe in God. And then an atheist will say, well, I've never been in a delivery room because I don't have any children. And to that, I'll say,
you've never been.
It was one, like, again, I'm almost a little uncomfortable talking about these things because I like talking about things where I have like a real tight argument that I can prove is irrefutable. This is a more
profound argument, actually.
But it was something where I was like, look, so in the moment when it was really all on the line and out of my control, I wasn't thinking maybe God exists. I knew for a 100% certainty, unlike nothing I've ever known in my life, that not only did I know that God existed, but I knew what he wanted from me. Like I knew what my negotiating power in this was, is that I could, you know what I'm saying? Like I could promise I'll be a good person. So not only did I know God existed, I knew that God wanted me to be a good person. And and look, this is something that people who have found God know, and people who don't believe in God maybe will not accept. But there is something to when you open yourself up like that to God, like you find out that he's real.
Oh man, that is so true, man. Oh, I can talk about that all day long. Like all the signs are there. Romans 1:20 says this, that since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Like the Bible says, like you actually do know this, you just don't always realize it right away.
And it's not like he speaks to you or he hallucinates. I don't like see a fiery bush and the words of God started talking, but like he fills you. Like when you open yourself like that to it, you get filled by it. And there's no more debate in your mind over whether that's a real phenomenon or not. You're like, and any more than like if I were to leave here and someone were to be like, do you believe in Tucker Carlson? And like, I'd be like, No, I know for certain. Like I know for a certainty that Tucker Carlson
just
exists.
with him, yeah.
I was just with him. It's like that, and so it was. And it changed my life, and ever since I regularly pray to God. It's something I'm conscious of every single day.
No way.
Every day,
Wow.
and I don't even pray exactly. I don't ask for things ever. I ask for one thing ever from God, which is that my wife and my kids are healthy and safe. It's the only thing I ever pray for. I don't ask for anything. The only other thing,
like he's not all the way with it, like not all the way Christianity, but that is a beautiful thing. In fact, that reminds me of like what you see about Job, like in the beginning of Job, that he's just offering sacrifices for his family. There's this sense of duty, this innate sense of duty that we have within us, this love for the people that are within our care, where we go, God, they are yours. They really are yours, and I want you to take care of them. I'm the minister. I'm the steward of this, but God, you hold all the power. God, take care of these people that I love. Those kinds of duties, these characteristics that we have within us, these moral things will connect you to God in such a beautiful way.
what I do is I express gratitude. God, like I just say thank you for everything I have. So that's the extent of it. But I think that I cannot overstate how much I think that's made me a better person.
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very good for you to constantly remind yourself how lucky you are that you have all the things that you have. It's very easy to get away from that, and that's where you ruin your inner happiness, your inner joy. Is if you start taking the things you have for granted. Because once you when you think you could lose everything you already have and then you don't, that's when you really appreciate it. You know, you really appreciate how lucky we all are.
Well, that's what that moment was. I love that he came to that realization. That's what that moment was. He realized this can all be taken away from me. There's all these beautiful things I've been given in my life, and they can just be taken away. And instead of that turning him into a nihilist, he actually responded correctly to it and said, no, this does matter, and it matters on a level that transcends humanity. It matters in the sense that there's this design for this creation that I am meant to experience these things. I'm built to experience these things, and I don't have the power to control them, but I do have the power to trust in the one who can control them. Oh man, that's so beautiful. Man, blessings in life will make you, God's blessings will really point you to him in such a beautiful way. I'll show this last clip here just for Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can support the channel, get the extended version of this and every other video that I do. I love you all so much. Like the video. Oh, no, just leave that last part.
Really at all.
My 6-year-old, the other day, we were out to dinner. And so we're out to dinner, we're sitting down, my wife, my 6-year-old girl, and my 3-year-old boy, and the owner of the restaurant is like a fan of mine. So he comes over the table, he goes, oh, thank you guys so much for coming. I just wanted to shake your hand. I really appreciate everything you're doing. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So he leaves. And then my daughter, my 6-year-old, who's kind of 17, but she's 6, she turns over at me and she goes, why'd he come over and say hi to you, Dad? Because you're famous. And then just turned right back to her menu. I mean, it was like, she could not have just undercut me more than that. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not really that cool. All right. But that.
I love that. It's the humbling thing about children that God uses, like these kids who they don't care what your job is, dude. They just love you. You're just their dad. That's all you are. You're the funny guy. You're whatever you are, right? The guy that you are at home, you're just their dad, and they love you so much. And again, God uses these institutions, these blessings, these people, these opportunities in life to bring you closer to him, to an understanding, to bring you to a place where you can trust him and humble yourself. And it's so beautiful. Look, is God exists because of the experience I had in the hospital room the most airtight, logical argument? No, right? You're probably not going to convince the whole world with that, but a lot of people will understand it because it still is a good argument. Because there is a very real thing about the experience of people. You finally do connect a bunch of dots sometimes when you experience certain things in life. There's a reason why people tend to get more religious or more conservative as they get older, because experiencing life, they have more time to make sense of all these things, and they realize this only really makes sense if there is God. And thankfully, it's not just like we need God to exist, but there are also good reasons, great reasons to believe that God exists. It's the most reasonable belief that you can have when you compare it to the alternative. But let me know what you think about this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting on Patreon. I love you all so much. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.